Hello, everybody, and welcome to Trophy Wars. This is episode 416. I'm your very tired host, Tricky Mick. Alongside with me, the man, the myth, the negative Nancy of the Trophy Wars. It's Alex.
Okay, well, you know what? Maybe I'm a pessimist. I don't know. I don't have any shot back for that. But it isn't. You're always tired. Why do you need to say that? That's just the way you live.
Well, no, normally I'm wide awake at this time, but ever since New Year's, that whole debacle, my sleep schedule's been off. Normally I go to bed around 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, and I wake up anywhere between 1 and 2 in the afternoon. Here lately, I've been falling asleep around midnight and waking up at like 7. So when I'm normally going to bed is when I'm waking up. So like right now, my body's starting to shut down.
Or perhaps it's your work schedule and all the cigarettes over the years.
No. Because then I wouldn't have affected me all the other years. He brings the awesome every week. It's I yield to no one.
As of right now, Alex, your Packers are winning.
Who ended up winning the Chiefs game? Because I saw the Chiefs were down like 24-7. Did they ever make a comeback?
They won 51 to 34.
The Chiefs won 51-34.
Yeah, the Chiefs were down 24 to nothing with 10 minutes to go in the second quarter, and then the Chiefs rattled off 34 unanswered points.
God, the Texans suck.
Let's just all be grateful that the Patriots aren't in
they
anymore.
scored 28 alone in the last 10 minutes of the second quarter to go up 28-24 at halftime.
Well, I bet at least the crowd at Arrowhead went home happy.
Oh, they went home really happy. So, and yes, I am happy the Patriots aren't in it. The Ravens got knocked out. Woohoo!
I couldn't see Brady win another trophy championship. All right, so before we get into our trophy count, we have a little bit of a discussion with the backlog beatdown.
Okay.
There's some shenanigans going on, and people keep changing rules. Nobody wants to set by the rules.
Now, didn't I say rolling up into this that there needed to be set rules, or it was going to get crazy?
There were set rules, but now a friend of the show, Andrew, has posted in the Backlog Beatdown Facebook group. And, you guys don't have any backstory with this because I was literally about to say it and then you said save it for the show. The rules stipulate that once you beat a game, you get a point, and if you get the platinum / 100%, you get another point.
Yes.
Okay. So that's the rule that's in question here. Andrew asked in the Backlog Beatdown group, I am playing Dragon's Crown Pro, which has 6 characters in it. Would it count as a, quote, completed game, end quote, if I beat the story with all 6 characters? I responded saying, the first time you beat it, it counts. The other times, it doesn't.
That makes sense because you've already beat the game.
Right. So but basically the question at hand is, does he have to beat it with all 6 characters to count as a completed game, or once to count as a completed game?
Sorry, I thought I was on mute. I would say once.
Mr. Priestley says, I think he was asking if he needs to beat it with each character, which is what I just said. I responded saying, once the credit rolls, that's when it's completed. Kalai chimed in saying, no, he is asking if he gets an additional point for 100%. I don't know why she said that because I don't get that as a question at all. I responded and said, okay, Andrew, 3 different people think you said something different. Care to clear things up? He says it's a blend of what Michael, me, government names, and Joseph are saying because this game has multiple characters to play as, does, quote, beating the game, end quote, need to be doing it with all 6, say like Diablo 3 or just with 1 character? I said just the first. Joseph came back and says, so if you beat the game, if you beat Resident Evil with Chris, is that beating the game, Tricky? Now,
yes.
Alex, did you played Resident Evil, Yield?
No, I'm just saying yes.
Biohazard?
No, just Resident Evil.
Well, I played Resident Evil 5, 6, and then what's it called? Resident Evil. Oh God, what is it? Resurrection. Resident Evil.
All right. Well, the point of the question is,
Oh,
Joseph
Revelations.
Beasley
Sorry,
said-
Resident Evil Revelations. I played that. I got the platinum in all 3 of those, but those are the only 3 I've ever played.
Okay, well, Joseph Beasley says, so if you beat Resident Evil with Chris, is that beating the game tricky? I asked, do credits roll after beating it with Chris? He responded, I would think you would need to beat the game with both Jill and Chris to, quote, beat the game. And then asked Daryl, what does he say? So, like, there's so many definitions. Because if I have to beat with all 6 characters, then I beat the game 6 times. So I should get 6 points.
Yes.
That's my opinion. That's
Well,
the
here's
way
the thing.
I
They said
view
you
it.
get if you get a platinum or 100%, that's a separate point from beating the game. So getting through the campaign of any game, whether you do it with 1 or 6 characters, would count.
That's my argument. But they're saying the point of contention right now is if there's 6 characters with a game, do you have to beat the game with all 6 characters to count as a completed game, or can you beat it with 1 of the 6 and count as a completed game?
Well, I guess it also depends if the campaigns are the same for every character, if just characters play differently, but the story's the same.
Well, to me that doesn't matter because like take example for Heavy Rain. You know, do you have to get all the endings for you to have a completed game, or is your playthrough when the credits roll? That's when you've completed the game.
Now, see,
my attitude. I'm sorry to cut you off. My whole thing is, you play a game once the credits roll, that's a completed game.
Yes. So here's how I would have done it, or would have argued had I been involved in the backlog beatdown. Would have been, you play through the game. Now, an argument could be made, and this would have to be debated amongst people. Would be like Alex was suggesting, is if, well, actually, you know what? No, you play through the game, credits roll. That's 1 point. Okay, doesn't matter.
Okay.
Doesn't matter if it's got multiple characters or not. You play through the game, credits roll. That's a point. You have beaten the game. Now, to get 100% or the platinum, granted, you were probably going to have to play with all the characters. To do that, then that's your second point. When you get all the trophies, or 100%.
Well, I'm assuming, and I don't know this game because I never played it. I'm assuming that even after you beat the game with all 6 characters, you do not have 100% of the trophies or a platinum.
Well, probably not. But see, the thing is, though, and here's why I say what I'm saying, is then this turn, it's fair for everybody. So this way, not one person goes out and gets a game like that, and then boom, now I've got 6 points. I only played 1 game. I just played the same game 6 times.
Well, because that's also my argument. Because Skippy Mick over here, I would just play a visual novel
Yes,
that I have to beat the game 19 times with, and then every visual novel I play, I get 20 points.
Yes. So that's why I would have worded it that way.
I mean, I guess the tribunal will get together and make a decision. But in my opinion, and I'm putting this out on the internet, once you beat a game, once the credits roll, that's a completed game. It doesn't matter how many times you have to beat it to get 100%, how many characters. Once you play a game from start to finish, credits roll, that's a point. Everything else after that, the only other point you get is after you get 100%, if there's no platinum, or you get the platinum.
Yes. That's
I love how this
I
whole
would
thing's
agree.
like, oh, this is for fun, and yet there's a bunch of bullshit rules that no one can figure out, making it like more like a chore to actually figure all this out than play the damn games you're supposed to have fun playing.
I'm only bringing this up because I thought it was funny that Andrew asked the question. I answered it. Joseph comes along, says something completely different. We shake that out, and then a third person comes in and says something completely different from the other 2 of us. Like, I just thought it was funny. It's like one question, you get 3 different answers. And then the questions are about what he's actually asking. All right, so let's get into our trophy count. I am level 54, total trophies of 12,764 with 230 platinums. Alex, who's not looking at the agenda, hopefully he's got it written down somewhere. He's level 31, total trophies of 6,924 with 102 platinums.
In 101
Yield.
games.
No. See, he doesn't get to say that distinction if he doesn't open up the doc.
I will say it for him, because I've got his back.
I'm going to take it out of the show.
Did you leave the special intro I did into the last show?
Yes, I thought that was funny.
Yeah. I was gonna say, because if you took that out, I'd be mega pissed.
No, but I did take out his trophy count. I beeped over it, and that's why he put it in the group. We all know it was under the beeps.
Ah, gotcha.
Alex, yeah. Yield your trophies.
Yes.
I asked you a question. You can't just say yes.
Yes.
Just read your damn freaking
Freaking damn trophies! Mother effort! Level 28 with a trophy count of 5938 and a platinum count of 92.
All right, and Sid is level 40, total trophies of 9,394 with 170 platinums. Sid, I'm looking forward to you coming back, sir. We had a conversation before the new year. Sid said he's looking forward to coming back.
Awesome. Well, aren't you going to read Steve's trophies?
Is this some kind of Daryl trap again?
No, it's not a Daryl trap.
All right, read Steve's trophies.
He is a level 10 with a trophy count of 601 and a platinum count of 2.
I'm waiting for it to dawn on Alex.
What?
It didn't dawn on him.
It didn't. Yeah, he wasn't even paying attention. Whose trophies are those, really?
Those are the goddesses.
Yes. She's currently working on her third platinum, Lego The Incredibles.
I saw you got her wheelie trophy.
I did not. Ironically, I hung up the phone and went to do it, and she goes, I got it.
See, now I bet she feels more accomplished that she did it herself, doesn't she?
No, because now she's pissed off because she can't get the last mini kit.
Why not?
Well, the last 2 mini kits in that mission is you're riding a motorcycle, obviously because you're doing a wheelie, and you have to time a jump perfectly to get one of them. And the other one is you have to, as you're controlling the motorcycle, shoot down 5 targets.
Well, that doesn't sound awfully hard.
It's a Lego game. Nothing sounds awfully hard except the desire not to throw the game away after you've done the same damn thing 1,000 times.
The only thing about the Lego games that I hate is just the
Lego games
monotonous
themselves?
of it.
Yeah,
the
me too.
races.
Quit being so negative, Nancy.
You know
Yeah,
what? He
really.
set me up, and I'm just making it happen.
No, I didn't set you up. We're having a conversation. A conversation you're not even paying attention to because you didn't realize that he read the Goddess's trophies instead of Steve's.
Why would I know what Goddess's trophies are?
Well, you knew they weren't Steve's.
Yeah, but those could be anybody's.
Yeah, but you should have went, wait, that's not Steve's trophies.
Look,
And then
Fields
you'll
has
come back and
read
goes, no,
different
those are the
trophies
guys.
for people on this show before. Why am I going to bat an eyelash at it now? You know
Oh
what?
my
And why don't
God.
you give Goddess the credit for the work she's done on the PlayStation Network?
I do.
It's all about you, isn't it?
It's all about me.
What about Dre?
All right. What about Dre?
Yeah.
I was listening to that song today.
Okay.
Let's get into what we're playing.
Okay, what have you been playing?
I have no idea.
Well, I can't help you there because I don't know what you've been playing either. I know what I've been playing.
I've been playing Rock Band. I've been playing Division 2. I finally got my last trophy in that. I finally beat the raid. So I got that's 100%. And
What, there's
I was
no
playing Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
There's no platinum in that?
In what?
In the Division 2.
Oh, that was my 120th platinum.
Oh, so you
That was
just
100
so you just 100%.
That was 110 platinums ago.
So you just 100%ed a DLC. Because you said
Technically, yeah.
you said you got your last trophy, so that's why I was confused.
Yeah. I've had the platinum for a while, but there was a trophy for beating the raid, and I've gotten to the end of the raid, but you literally cannot do the raid on your own. There has to be a minimum of 4 people, but in reality, you need all 8 people, and a couple guys that ran the raid before I hooked up with their clan, and man, they tore it through. You got to watch the video, like the end boss, which normally takes about 45 minutes to beat.
Mm-hmm.
They had it done in 2 shots.
Wow.
Yeah.
2 shots is in less than 10 seconds?
2 shots. Well, not
You mean attempts?
no, 2 shots.
2 shots
So
from a gun?
Somebody had a really powerful sniper rifle and was waiting for their shots.
Well, what it really boiled down to being is if you watch the video, I can't think of the name. Razorback. The Razorback has 10 chunks underneath its health of shield. The game is designed that every 2 chunks, the Razorback resets, and you have to do this whole pattern again to get it to open up again. And it's a whole complicated thing. These guys were able to coordinate their shot, so all 3 of the snipers hit at the exact same time. So instead of taking off 2 chunks, it actually took off 5 chunks. And they did that twice, and it went down.
Are they cheating? They cheaters?
No, it's legit. There's a sniper build that if you press a button at a certain time, and then it powers up, and then when you release the trigger, it releases a more powerful shot. They just had the timing down with all 3 of them timed it perfect, so all 3 bullets hit at the exact same time, so it didn't reset. It actually took off the chunk of health. If you watch the video, you'll see it. It's like they're not cheating, they're not hacking. It's just a well-placed strategy.
I like it.
Take that, Ubisoft.
But unfortunately, I did not get my Eagle Bearer, which is what I wanted.
Aww.
But we're going to run the raid again tonight, and hopefully I'll get my Eagle Bearer this time. All right. And like I said, the other game I've been playing was Rock Band 4 and Jedi Fallen Order.
I need to get back into that.
I just got to... This is a little bit of a spoiler, but not really. I just got to the temple where I found out what I'm supposed to be doing.
You mean the first temple?
The very first temple.
Oh, wow. I'm still ahead of you.
Yeah. But I'm taking my time because I don't know when the giant-ass spiders are going to come out.
God, you're taking your time. That's like that happens like right at the very beginning of the game.
You have to understand, I'm like, every time I turn on the game, I'm like, is this what I'm going to hit the spiders? No, we're going to turn it off. We're going to go play something else.
All right. You want me to tell you what level you're going to hit the big-ass spiders?
I heard it's the 3rd.
It's Kashyyyk.
Kashyyyk?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought you already told that. It was on Kashyyyk. That's the Wookiee planet.
Yes.
Well, I had a conversation with Steven where he warned me, but he didn't actually tell me where it was.
There you go.
It was mentioned by you on the show that it was Kashyyyk because I remember you butchered the pronunciation of Kashyyyk.
Maybe.
Oh, no.
Well, there. I've
There's no
you.
maybe, sir. It happened. It is a historical moment.
It's Kashyyyk. Because I wasn't going to tell you because I wanted to hear your oh shit reaction on the show, and Yield didn't tell you.
Oh yeah, well I also yelled at you for
not giving you the warning because that's what friends do.
Yeah, that's not what friends do.
Yes, it is. My friends would do that to me.
And you got some shitty.
And then
you got some shitty friends then.
And then sit back and laugh all the long day because it's funny.
You got some shitty ass friends then.
I got some pretty awesome friends.
Well, I know you got a shitty brother who doesn't play Rock Band.
Alex, let me tell you, all right, if we were hanging out all the time and you knew like I was absolutely petrified of spiders, but yet I was playing this Star Wars game, would you let me run across it so that way you could sit there and be like, that was pretty funny, wasn't it?
Not only that, but I would plan it so that I mailed you gummy spiders so you could get those while we were recording and you'd be playing while we were recording so your moment of terror would happen on the show.
See?
For the world to hear, for the internet to have it crystallized in history. I would want that for the internet.
You're a mean sons of bitches, that's all I'm going to say.
I think we're pretty funny, but anyway.
Yes, also, Tricky, let's point out that you have a very irrational fear of spiders. Not the fact that you're afraid of spiders. There are a lot of people who are afraid of spiders.
Hold on a second.
You can't even look at pictures of spiders or, like, gummy spiders. Like, that is
How
irrational.
How could you define that as irrational?
Because you know that can't hurt you. Like, that spider, that gummy candy spider cannot hurt you.
Okay, yes, I just looked back at my message with Steven. I did mention it. But this is what I argue with everybody that likes to scare me with spiders. It's when I see the spider, there is no thought of, oh shit, that's fake or that's a gummy spider. My initial heart-stopping moment is, oh shit, spider, and dart to get away.
Tricky, I am afraid of snakes, but I can watch snakes on TV or see drawings of snakes or pictures of snakes or even snakes at the zoo behind glass and be like, oh, this snake can't get me. This is an interesting creature that's cool and like you can learn interesting facts by watching movies. Not Anaconda, because Anaconda won't teach you shit, except Ice Cube is a fucking badass that kills giant snakes with ice picks or pickaxes. But like I'm afraid of a snake, so if a snake came up on me, I would be very scared. But any like non-real snake, I'm fine with. Like I can decipher in that moment whether it's real. Like I can.
So
know
you're telling me?
Wait.
So you're telling me that if you were sitting on your couch in your house, and I walked up to you and just threw a rubber snake into your lap, you're not gonna jump?
I might jump, but also you're not distinguishing.
That's the
I talked about a
point.
gummy spider, and I've sent you pictures of spiders just before, and you freaked out. Like you can easily,
Yes!
like, it's not a gummy spider. Doesn't look real at all. Like it is very much fake. And also a picture of a spider. If you cannot tell a picture of a spider is a picture of a spider and not have a freak out moment because you think that spider is going to jump at you and kill you because you think it's real, that's irrational.
No, that's the same thing as me throwing a rubber snake onto your lap. The initial
because the
shock
rubber snake is meant
there
to be more realistic than a picture of a spider. A picture
Alex,
will be
I got
immediately
banned from the
decipherable
show.
by your brain.
Wait, you're telling me that if you tweet me a picture of a spider and I open up Twitch or Twitter, and the first thing that pops up is a huge ass spider picture, that's not the same thing as me throwing a rubber snake into your lap?
No, because the rubber snake is 3D and it has texture to it. If you open up a file on the internet, I can't send you a real spider over the internet. It has to be a picture or something, so clearly it can't hurt you.
Okay. You
Yield, would you say that it is irrational for him to be afraid of a picture of a spider because his brain can't recognize that it's not real?
Okay. Technically, it's not one for me to say that his fear is irrational because I don't have that fear to that level that he has it. But me sitting here, I feel that it is irrational because what Alex said.
But my argument to you both is it's not that the picture of a spider it's not because it's a picture of a spider. It's the moment that the spider appears, it immediately shocks. It's the same thing that Yield, I know you know this, and Alex, you could probably know this too. You ever been driving down the street and somebody, the car going by you hits a puddle and it sprays up onto your windshield?
Before. This is deja vu because we've had this exact example, example on the show.
It's that split second where you forget there's a windshield in front of you and you duck.
No, because we had this talk before. No, I do not forget that I'm driving a car and there's a windshield in front of me, and I don't duck and put myself and everyone else on the road in danger by taking my eyes off the road.
Now you're being irrational. You know what I'm talking about.
You get paid to drive an emergency vehicle around New York City, and you're telling me those are the moments you're having?
No,
Get him
but
off the
also
road,
like when
pull him off.
It's the same thing that when I'm driving a snowplow and my plow trips on a manhole cover and it's that big loud snap of the plow back. Yeah, that jolts you for a second. And you're not going to convince... If you tell me that you don't duck when something is thrown at you or it surprises you and it's that split second where you forget where you are and you go for self-preservation... if you tell me that never happens to you...
Self-preservation? What am I, the Wicked Witch of the West? Is water gonna melt me?
Oh,
Tricky.
My God.
Whether a bird has pooped on my windshield while I was driving, whether a rock hit my windshield while I was driving, or whether water hit me on my windshield, I've never ducked while I was driving to get away from something that was coming at my windshield. Okay, but... Never.
But did you have the oh shit moment?
No, I didn't, because I'm not afraid of water, and water's not gonna hurt me. And I realized that there is a windshield in front of me that's going to protect me from that water.
I think you're bullshitting me right now.
No, I'm not. I've never ducked out of the way to avoid water because it rains in the car. Do you duck every time rain hits your car?
That's different. That's something I know is happening. some water shooting up from a puddle that shoots up on the windshield that catches you by surprise. You have that oh shit moment.
I do not.
And that's
duck
what I'm
and
talking
take my
about.
eyes off the road. The water just hits the windshield. Go about your day.
Yield, back me up on this.
I don't
This has happened
duck.
to you, right?
I don't duck.
But do you have that oh shit moment, like oh shit, I'm about to get hit with water? It
No.
may be for a split second, but that thought goes through you like oh shit, water.
No.
That's oh my god. You know what? I hate you both.
You know, I hit.
You two are such bullshitters.
I hit a mud puddle coming home from my brother's Saturday night, and it flashed up on my windshield up from underneath the hood, and I'm like, oh man, I shouldn't hit that puddle so hard. I can't see. Let me reach down and hit my wipers.
You two are such bullshitters. Alex, what have you been playing?
Crash Team Racing and Pokemon Shield and Pokemon Go, and yeah, that's about it, because I finished everything I want to do in Rocket League for the latest holiday event, so, yeah, same old, same old. I'm probably going to be playing the exact same things until The Last of Us comes out in, is it May or April? I've already forgotten.
May 29th.
Yeah, May 29th, so I've got plenty of time to, play more Crash DLC and, catch more of the Pokemans, because there's 400 in the new game, and they announced DLC at the latest Pokemon Direct, so I'm going to have even more to catch.
I did not watch that direct. Did I ask you what you're playing?
Fucking chump.
No, you haven't asked me what I'm playing.
What have you been playing, sir?
So I have been playing. Hold on, Harry. Let me switch back my phone.
He's been playing World of Warships.
I have been playing World of Warships. I am working.
Read you
on
like
that.
a fucking book. You.
I got my. Well, it's my new Warhawk, man. I got my Yamato.
There is never a
Battleship.
replacement for Warhawk. You watch your mouth.
Well, no, it's not. I said it's my new Warhawk. You know, I was always playing Warhawk. I'm always playing World of Warships. That's my comparison.
What about the train game? Weren't you always playing the train game too?
I was playing that for a while when I had first got my iPad. I was playing what the heck was it called? Anyway, yeah, I was playing that train game for a very, very long time. And been playing some Medieval. I have been playing some Mario Kart 8. Played some new Super Mario Brothers Wii U. And
God, maybe Yield and I should be guests on the dual screens.
I'll tell you what, man. I was stomping I was doing some pretty good jobs on Mario Kart 8. I started off really well. Then we started.
Can we
switching
get back to the
cars up.
PlayStation part of this show?
Oh yes.
No, because you asked me what I was
coming
playing.
from the guy who routinely puts Xbox news on the PlayStation show.
Yeah.
When it concerns PlayStation stuff, yes.
No, a lot of it doesn't concern PlayStations to it.
Mario Kart 8 is a weaker Crash Team Racing.
I mean, you're not wrong about that, but let's compare the PlayStation to this PC.
Oh, Jesus. You're such a negative Nancy lately.
Like I told you, you called me out for it, so I'm just going to embrace it.
He's got a point there. We were trying to compare a PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5 to a PC.
Because that's a...
Which everyone has called out now. Like, what a fucking stupid argument.
No, yeah, they said you're wrong.
No, they didn't.
They absolutely did.
You know who said I was wrong? You and Kalai. And Kalai has trouble with English because apparently, when I made my original argument, which everyone understood, Kalai's like, I don't know what you're trying to say. How about you learn English, Kalai? Also, in the latest question from Andrew, she completely came up with some ridiculous answer, which had nothing to do with the question.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
So,
no, if Kalai wants to talk shit, Kalai can't talk any shit because she can't understand basic fucking English.
Let's recap here for a second. A couple weeks ago, we had CJ on the show, and he completely shit on Daryl. Now, Alex is shitting on me about a PC argument, and he's shitting on Kalai.
No, but you're saying like everyone, when the only people who disagreed with me, I mean, you saw my point, but the only people who disagreed with me were Kalai. And Kalai, in their entire argument, talked down to me like I was fucking dumb. So, no, I'm not going to put up with Kalai's shit.
Ooh.
Sorry, Kalai is not the beginning and the ending of everything. Especially when she can't understand what people are saying. Basic fucking English.
Oh, here we go. I might just have you edit the show so you can rethink them thoughts.
No, I'm not. If Kalai wants to come at me, Kalai can come at me.
All right, so before we actually get started, did you get done with what you're playing?
I did. You know what? I got to come out who I can crap on next week.
For real. All right, so this wasn't in the agenda, but I did post this in the Facebook group. PlayStation put out on Facebook on January 10th, 2 days ago, The votes are in, and you chose The Last of Us as the game of the decade. Gentlemen, what do you think first, before we actually go down the list of all the other games, what do you think about The Last of Us being chosen as the game of the decade? Obviously, I think this is PlayStation fans, so there could be arguments for Nintendo games and Xbox games, but
we're not talking about that. It's a PlayStation podcast.
Well, what I'm saying is this list of games of the decade is a game that's available on the PlayStation. So let's start with The Last of Us being chosen as the game of the decade. How do you guys feel about that?
I mean, I think it's a worthy contender. I don't know if gameplay-wise, it's not the best game. I think there are far better gameplay games out there, but I think the dialogue and the story and the characters, that's kind of what differentiates it from a lot of other things. But I think those are the elements that stay with you the most as opposed to gameplay. I mean, you'll play a game that has really fun gameplay like Rocket League, but is that going to stay with you and be as effective on you as, say, like a story like The Last of Us? The ending to The Last of Us will probably leave a mark on you that most other games will never leave on you because, just the emotion behind it. Whereas, a game like Rocket League is very fun. There's, the gameplay is very fun, and it is still incredibly successful, even being as old as it is. But it doesn't have that emotional punch, that real-world punch that The Last of Us has. So The Last of Us leaves an indelible mark on people that other games simply can't, even if it's not the best gameplay there is. So I'd say, for the sake of its story and its characters, it is something that, could definitely be considered for the honor. If someone wants to call it the game of the decade, I don't have any issue with it. I mean, I'd say, hey, you can make an argument for it, and if that's your stance, then I think that's completely legit, even if it's not necessarily the best gameplay game.
All right, Yield?
I'm fine with it.
Okay.
I mean,
I was going to say, do you want to expand on that?
No, Alex hit the nail on the head. I'm fine with The Last of Us being game of the decade. Now, some of the other games on down the list, I maybe not necessarily agree with them, but that's...
All right, let's start at number 20. We'll go work our way back to 1. Number 20 was Resident Evil 2. Number 19 was Batman Arkham City. Again, stop me if you want to talk about the game, obviously. 18 was Fortnite. 17 was Mass Effect 2. 16 was Red Dead Redemption. 15 was Death Stranding. 14 was Nier Automata.
Automata?
13... No, it's not Automata. It's Auto... Now I can't say it.
Mr. Roboto?
It's not Automata. They correct that. But you guys know what I'm trying to say. 13, Call of Duty Black Ops 2. 12, Dark Souls. Number 11, Persona 5. Number 10, Marvel's Spider-Man. Number 9, Uncharted 4, Thieves' End. 8, Bloodborne. 7, Horizon Zero Dawn. 6, Elder Scrolls 5, Skyrim. Number 5, Red Dead Redemption 2, which I have a problem with it being there.
I have a problem with Skyrim being on there.
Number 4, Grand Theft Auto 5. Number 3, The Witcher 3, The Wild Hunt, which I have a problem with that being there. Number 2, God of War. And, of course, number 1, The Last of Us.
God of War? Which God of War?
The PlayStation 4 version.
Yeah, I got an issue with God of War being that high.
Okay, right, well, so before we go again.
Okay.
Skyrim. Which version of Skyrim?
It just says 5, Skyrim. I'm assuming this is the PlayStation 4 version.
Okay, I mean, everyone I've ever known that's played that game has spoken very lovingly of it, and I know it's on the joke is that it's on a ton of platforms, basically on every platform you can possibly play it on.
Yeah, on your
toaster. But I've only heard good things about it, so I'm cool with it being on that list.
Well, no, I'm not. It's not that I'm cool that it's on. Or sorry, my beef with it being on the list is it's not like it's part 2 of Skyrim. It's the same game that was on the 3. We just made it again for the 4. So it's
hold on, you. Let's get the clarification. This is not PlayStation 4 games. This is just PlayStation games over the last decade.
Well, that's why I'm curious. When was Skyrim released originally?
I'll Google it right now.
Would you please? Because if it was if it was released within the last decade, then I'm okay with it. Because like Alex said, everyone I've talked to who's played it absolutely loves it. But
November 11th, 2011.
Okay, so it was the last decade, so I'm okay with it then. See, I thought it was. They're talking about the 4 version, which I wouldn't be okay with.
My problem with The Witcher 3 being up there is that I think people are more fondly in remembering that game because of the now Netflix series, which, by the way, is fucking superb.
I mean, no one ever said a bad thing about The Witcher 3 that I heard.
I did.
Did you
and
play it?
I played up to a point. I'm actually starting to play it again just to try to give it a fair shot because I wanted to make sure that like I don't just misremember bad things. I'm actually trying to make my way through it. So I will give you a more in-depth opinion about that because actually that's another game I've been playing. I didn't earn a trophy.
Well, like
so.
So remember that I tried to play the Metal Gear Solid games and didn't like them, but I don't ever say they're bad games because I didn't like them. So I don't think that if you didn't have a great experience with The Witcher 3, like it's like, hey, I don't really like this, I don't think you can say it's not a good game or that you...
Okay, then let me clarify. I'm not trying to say The Witcher 3 is a bad game because I know that it is a good game in its sense. What I'm saying is I don't think Witcher 3 should be so high on the list because I think it's just getting an arbitrary bump because of the Netflix series.
Which might very well be.
I don't think it's a bad game. I definitely think it should be in the top 20. I just don't think it should be number 3 was what I'm arguing. Grand Theft Auto 5, you really can't argue with the success of that game. Red Dead Redemption 2, my problem with it being there is just the fact that there's not a lot of people speaking very highly of that game. I hear a lot of negative things about it.
I really and the rest enjoyed it.
Well, from what I hear, is the people that played it liked it, but that it had technical issues. I don't have any reference to this Yield, and I really don't want to get into a conversation about it. But apparently there's a part in the game where you run across a racist organization.
Oh, yeah, you do.
And a lot of people are, shitting on the game because of that.
Yeah, but the way they did it, well, I found it funny.
Okay.
Well, because when you run across this group, do you want me to tell you what it is?
Well, I just didn't say because I didn't want to spoil it. I don't have a problem with the name being said on the show. I just didn't want to spoil it.
Okay, is it like Django Unchained where they lampoon the KKK? Because they made them look like ass clowns in that movie.
Exactly. That's what they did.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, you run into the KKKs. What I was
and I kind of chuckled to myself when I'm like, wow, they went with the KKK. But then when they made them like a joke, I'm like, oh, this is how they did it. This is kind of funny, and how you constantly run into them, and it's just not constantly. As you run into them, it's not like you constantly run into them. As your little extra little side blurred mission, it's a little comic relief.
All right, let's move on a little bit here. Let's say you guys want to talk more about the top 20.
No, we can move on.
All right, gotta bring up the agenda again. We all knew that Assassin's Creed game was coming this year, and we've had some leak stories. But apparently Amazon and another company, which I can't remember right now, have apparently leaked the name of the next Assassin's Creed game. It's supposedly called Assassin's Creed Ragnarok.
So it's Norse.
This article is coming from IGN.
You're not even gonna answer me.
What? Sorry.
It's Norse.
I don't know.
It's what else?
I would
is
assume
Ragnarok
so because
from?
that would be my bet.
I mean, that would be my guess, but we don't have any actual confirmation of that. The other one was GameStop. To the alleged Amazon and GameStop item listings, we can surmise a few things about the next installment in the long-running franchise. The name, as far as the release date, Ubisoft hasn't confirmed AC Ragnarok's existence yet, much less a release date. That said, like many big-budget video games of its kind, it's likely to release somewhere between October and early December to line up with the holiday season. Assassin's Creed Odyssey...
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, I'll ask my question once you're done.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey released on October 5th, and its predecessor, Assassin's Creed Origins, released on October 27th. So we could probably estimate that it's probably going to be an October game. And then I'm not going to read the rest of this article or the next part of the article because it's, you know what, I will. The next part of the article says, when does Assassin's Creed Ragnarok take place? And then they reference possible spoilers below, which I don't know how they could spoil it if the game's not actually confirmed. The article goes on to say, judging from the leaks, Assassin's Creed Ragnarok will take place in the Viking era. According to the leaked information shared on Reddit, AC Ragnarok will start in or around 845 CE during the Viking-led siege of Paris. The period between 800 CE... What's CE?
It's
creation of Earth?
I honestly couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I know AD and BC, but that's all.
All right, hold on. Let me Google CE time period. CE time meaning. That means Common Era.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so the period between 800 CE and about 900 CE were heavily characterized by these Viking incursions. According to the leaked info, the meat of the game will start during 863 CE with a character named Jorah, Jora, and can be either male or female.
Just like Odyssey.
Well, in Odyssey, you could be one of two characters. This one is you're
pick.
Jorah, but you could choose whether or not you're a male or a female. Okay. And it says Ubisoft hasn't had any official gameplay yet, and it's certainly not confirmed anything from leaked information. That said, if any of the leaked info is to believe, there could be a significant number of updates, and you can read the full list of leaked and unconfirmed gameplay info here. We whittle down to be the most important stuff. So this is what, according to leaks, again, nothing confirmed, is what's going to be in the Ragnarok. Up to 4-player drop-in, drop-out co-op, much like Ghost Recon Wildlands. New RPG mechanics introduce a new class system and skill tree changes based on your choice, and you'll be able to change your character class. More weapon types and weapons can be upgraded with runes, special abilities for certain groups of weapons. Durability will also play a role. Rather than adrenaline, players can activate a berserker mode, which also activates rune powers based on elemental types, fire, lightning, and frost. Sailing is back with a more focus on exploration than combat. The Hidden Blade is returning and can be upgraded for one-hit kills.
Wait, the Hidden Blade was left out of certain games?
Well, the Hidden Blade was not taken out, but modified when it came to Origins and Odyssey, just because that was the original start of the Assassins, so the Hidden Blade technically hadn't been invented yet.
Do you ever meet any famous, historical characters in Odyssey or Origins?
Yes.
Okay, I was just curious if they were going to do, Ragnarok, or if they were going to bring some, Norse gods into it.
I don't know. Well, I mean, I know in Odyssey and Origins, they do reference the Greek gods a lot.
I mean, if you're going to be in that time period, why not?
Right. All right, so let me keep going here. Stealth is receiving some upgrades, like allowing a player to hide in mud, snow, crouching in bushes, and other hiding options. Players can also hide themselves in crowds of people as long as their clothing does not stick out. The reputation system based on who, what, and where you are conquest. Conquest battles return. Battles between independent kingdoms, as in you don't control them yet, may occur naturally. That's the one part of Odyssey I do not like. Players can organize large-scale raids on forts and large cities, or just go it alone.
Go it alone.
The difficulty has been overhauled. Rather than being about enemy health, the difficulty will determine your own health, parry times, and enemy reaction times.
This is a lot of information for a game that hasn't been announced.
Correct. There's two more.
Is this coming from GameStop or Amazon?
This is coming from IGN, who compiled all the leaks of the game so far. The last two are leveling is also getting an overhaul, allowing players to improve their individual skill sets and gain experience in them. The leaked info describes it as being similar to the Elder Scrolls Skyrim. This also means that regions are being locked by level number is gone. And the last one says, as for the map, the leaked info says it comprises of most of all of Northern Europe, including the cities of York, London, Paris, and Kiev.
So you can go from, the United Kingdom all the way to the Ukraine.
Yeah, as a Viking.
That's a lot. That's like a Skyrim-sized game. Here, let me just fast travel from London to Kiev.
Now, did you ever play Odyssey or?
I've thought about picking up. I
Origins?
haven't, but I thought about picking up Origins since it's been on the cheap, like on sale, quite a bit recently. I just have never pulled the trigger because I'm obviously indulging in other games. But I mean, I don't really want to play Odyssey, but I do want to play Origins. At some point.
Well, I remember when Origins was coming out. You said you were gonna.
Well, I always said that going to
Egypt,
ancient Egypt would be the one thing that could bring me back, and it's the only Assassin's Creed I'm interested in playing is the one in ancient Egypt.
I mean, Odyssey is. I mean, it's not totally in Egypt, but it is in that region.
You mean Origins? Because Odyssey is Greece.
Yeah, Odyssey is Greece.
What did I say?
You said Odyssey. We were talking about Origins.
I apologize. I misspoke.
You got your O's mixed up.
Yeah, I mean, why can't they just be numbers? Yeah, so I would assume that...
Because Assassin's Creed 33 doesn't sound as sexy as Assassin's Creed Ragnarok.
Well, I think technically right now, this Odyssey, the last one, Odyssey would be...
And I'm being sarcastic with my 33.
I know.
Okay,
well, we had Assassin's Creed 1, 2, then we went to Revelations and Brotherhood.
Yeah, then he went to 3, then he went to 4.
Then we did 3, 4, 5 was Odyssey, right? No, 5 was
5.
Syndicate.
Well, there was no 5, then there was Syndicate.
Well, okay, after Black Flag, there was... why am I drawing a blank right now? Unity.
Was it Unity? Yeah, it was Unity. Then it was Syndicate.
Then it was Origins. Then it was Odyssey.
Because Unity and Syndicate was Bang Bang.
Well, Unity came out the same time Rogue came out for the PS3.
Okay, that was Bang Bang. So we forgot about Rogue.
Rogue was a PS3 game.
Well, still,
but it's not a mainline game, though.
Why not?
Because it was just it was an origin story of Black Flag. I mean, I guess it's a mainline game, but it's not. It was an offshoot more than a canon game.
Okay, I'll go with that.
But yeah, you guys know I like my Assassin's Creed games. I did beat Origins. I barely played Odyssey though.
Can't do the Norse gods?
No, my problem with the game is, and I'm probably going to fumble this up because it's been a while since I played. You have the Spartans and another group that are constantly fighting.
Trojans?
No, they're not Trojans. I don't remember. But the point is that whatever character you're playing as...
The Spartans and the Aegeans?
Is it the Aegeans? I don't remember.
Well, you're talking to a guy that knows his Norse gods, so I would probably go with his saying.
Well, let me just say, my fondest memory of the game is me playing it, and the character in the game called me a Malacca, and the guy that's walking behind me goes, "That's right, he is a Malacca."
She knows.
If anybody doesn't,
she's woke.
But if anybody doesn't know what a Malacca is, it's basically the Greek word for jerk off. But you don't choose a side. Like you're not on the Spartan side and you're not on the other side. And then you go into a conflict and like you think that's the enemy because they're highlighted in red, but it turns out they're actually your ally. And then you attack them, and then you have both sides every time you turn around trying to come at you. So like when you're just trying to do a simple thing like, hey, let me go find this synchronization point, you have both sides coming at you, and you don't know who not to attack and who to attack.
I wonder if you missed something.
I think I did.
You had to have. They wouldn't have made it that difficult all of a sudden.
Well, that's the thing is like what you do is there's certain areas and then you perform certain tasks to make the defense of the area not so tough so it can be invaded.
Yeah.
So like you come up to I'm just going to use the word stronghold, but it's not called a stronghold. You come up to a stronghold and you're like, okay, I need to burn these 3 bushes, destroy this ammo cache, and kill this guy. And then you're walking up and it like the people outside the stronghold all look like enemies, but they're actually your allies who are actually trying to break in, but you can't distinguish that. So then you go in, you start a fight, and then as you're fighting, you know, you're just trying to defend yourself. All of a sudden, you don't realize this ally was actually fighting the enemy, but you turn around and stab the ally because you thought he was trying to attack you. Like, it just seems like to me, like, if you're going to have allies, maybe turn the fact that you could damage them off. Because either I'm fighting for one side or I'm fighting for the other. I can't be fighting both. Maybe I missed something and I have to restart the game. If I ever go back and play it, I'm definitely going to have to restart it. Even though I'm 22 hours into it now. Which would be a giant pain in the ass to start over again.
Start over.
Yeah, I think I am. All right, so their next bit of news here. The next Batman game has been teased with a new logo.
Ooh. Who's making it?
Well, here's the thing. WB Games Montreal has tweeted out half...
Origins and Arkham Knight?
No, they just made Origins.
Okay, because
Rocksteady
made the first 3.
All the Arkham games, yes. Except for Origins. But they tweeted out half of an image, which, again, goes with the Court of Owls. I just wish somebody would fucking announce what game they're making already.
That would be easier.
But then an article on IGN says Batman's new game deserves a better tease than this. And their mini quote is, "It's time to take a bat shit or get off the bat pot." Which I think is the best subline I've ever read in my life. Guys, at this point, do we even give a shit what WB Montreal or Rocksteady is making?
I mean, I would like to see what Rocksteady's making, especially since we've only known them to make, like, Batman games. I would like to see them do something else, even if it is within the DC universe. But, I mean, it'd be nice if they would let us know, but I'm sure that they will reveal it when they're good and ready. Maybe it's just they don't have enough to show people or enough that they would think that people would get excited, so they're going to wait until they can actually show us, like, some gameplay or something.
Okay, do you know when Arkham Knight came out?
Long-ass time ago, probably 5 years ago.
Yeah, 2015. Arkham Asylum came out in 2009. Arkham City came out in 2011. That was a 2-year difference. Arkham Knight came out in 15. That was a 4-year difference.
Yeah, but look at the difference between Shadow of the Colossus and The Last Guardian. Like, sometimes shit happens.
Well, that game was dead on arrival. Let's be real.
Snap.
I mean, it sold really well. It sold decently well.
I don't know about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Which Shadow of the Colossus?
Shadow of the Colossus was not dead on arrival. If you call Shadow of the Colossus dead on arrival, you clearly have had your head in the sand for 2 decades.
Okay. I was thinking Last Guardian. Did you say Shadow of the Colossus?
I said Last Guardian, and Shadow of the Colossus
The Last Guardian.
to The Last Guardian is a long development cycle, and you were like, that game was dead on arrival. So I'm talking about the sales of The Last Guardian.
Okay, Last Guardian sales. Let's see. What would you say is a success?
For that game, I'd say over 1 million. For like a Batman Spider-Man game, you would probably need 4. Well, I'd say maybe like 3 to 4 million would be a success. I mean, granted, it's going to depend on the marketing budget and how much it costs to make the game, because there's financial success and then there's critical success. But for like as far as like game sales wise, I'd say over 1 million would be fine, because usually the Ratchet games hit over 1 million and not really more than that. I know that it got really good scores. I think it was like in the 8s or maybe in the high 7s, but I think they got really good scores, so I'd say 1 million.
All right, I'm looking it up right now. Okay. I don't. Total sales 1.29 million.
I would call that a success for that game.
I think that's a failure for that game. How long people waited for that to come out?
But it's not like
that's a
like
that
okay,
game was
look at
so
the most
hyped.
recent Ratchet and Clank game. What are the sales for that?
All right, hold on.
The Last Guardian has a Metacritic score of 82. I'd call that a success.
Let's see. I'm dealing with an ad right now. Hold on 1 second. Console, PS4. It's a little harder to look at this way. Search. Okay, hold on. That apparently didn't work. And Clank PS4 sales VG charts. Okay, here we go. Ratchet and Clank 2016, 2.38 million.
That's
Yeah,
good.
that's better than most of the other games have done. I would still say that that's a big success for The Last Guardian, considering how long that game came out and how niche that game is.
But that's why I call it a failure, because of how hyped that game was.
But see,
and
the
then,
hype tailed
well,
off. The hype was because of Shadow of the Colossus. If you go back and play Eco, I'm going to tell you, Eco's not a great game. Shadow of the Colossus, on the other hand, is still one of the best games I've ever played. It's my favorite game ever. But I think because Last Guardian is so niche, that is a success. I'm surprised it cracked 1 million.
You have to fix your headphones so you can hear when I'm trying to talk.
No, you don't need to just try to bulldoze over when someone's making a point.
No, you cut into my point. That's why I call it a failure, because of how much the hype dropped off. That game, with the amount of hype that game had at its peak, it clearly should have hit 5 million, 10 million sales.
Absolutely
and said
not.
it barely beat 1 million.
So 10 million sales? Are you serious that you said sell 5 times as much as Ratchet and Clank, which had a movie tagged along with it and was a proven franchise that had how many games before it?
But the point is,
are you serious? 10 million?
Okay, 10 million maybe an exaggeration,
this
but
makes
5
your
million at
windshield
least.
and water argument seem far more logical.
Okay.
This explains it.
Million is with the hype that The Last Guardian had between Eco, Shadow of the Colossus, The Last Guardian's hype, and how long it took it to come out, and the train wreck that turned out to be. It killed its sales. The Last Guardian, without a shadow of doubt, should have hit at least 5 million in sales.
How many games do you think hit 5 million? Have any of the new Tomb Raiders hit 5 million?
Let me try to look up.
I don't think you understand how many games don't hit 5 million. And again, it's got a Metacritic score of 82 critically. How do you call that a train wreck?
I'm talking about with sales numbers.
Over 1 million's not a train wreck. Over 1.25 million is not a train wreck.
Okay, so I just looked up best-selling PS4 games because I didn't want to do all the consoles. Okay, these numbers can't be accurate.
Why is that? Because not many of them are over 5 million?
Well, no, because the first game is Grand Theft Auto, and it says globally they've sold 19 million copies. And we know that they've cracked 100 million copies.
Well, there's
so this
also
cannot
PC
be
and
accurate.
Xbox. You do realize that, right?
All right, fair enough. Okay. So, Grand Theft Auto, 19 million. Call of Duty Black Ops 3, 15 million. Red Dead Redemption, 13 million. Call of Duty
These
World
are
War
big
II.
drops, Tricky, from 19 million.
Right, but it was still over 10 million.
Okay, keep going.
Call of Duty World War II, 13 million. FIFA 18, 11.8 million. FIFA 17, 10.9 million. Uncharted, 10.3 million. That was a new franchise that nobody heard of. Coming off of Jack and Daxter.
Okay, but
Spider-Man
it's also
PS4.
had how long of sales? And
And
they've
it also
re-released
took-
it how many times?
It also took a while to get going.
Okay, Spider-Man 8.7 million, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare 8.4 million, Fallout 4 8.4 million, FIFA 16 8.2, Battlefront the original one 8 million, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare 7.5, Battlefield 1 7.2.
You know what I'm not hearing, Tricky? A lot of PlayStation games. A lot of
The Last of Us
games.
6 points. The Last of Us 6.7.
That's a second one.
God of War 6.1. Horizon Zero Dawn 5.8. New franchise. Destiny new franchise 5.7.
But we're already
Uncharted,
down to 5, Tricky, and we've only had 3 Sony-developed games on this list.
Sony Uncharted Nathan Drake Collection 5.7. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy 4.8. That was your first one under 5 million.
Which, guess
You're
what?
telling me that
Your thing that's saying that The Last Guardian should have sold 5 million is crazy because what's not on this list? God of War is not on this list. There were only, 4 Sony-developed games above 5 million?
God of War 6.1 million.
Okay, 5 games? Okay, so you're saying that the God of War, without as much hype as it had, and how, a big marketing budget and the following it had behind it only had 6 million, and you're telling me The Last Guardian should have hit 5 million easily? Are you serious? There were 5 Sony-developed games above 5 million, and you're sitting here telling me, after all the games they've made, that The Last Guardian should have cracked that? Are you serious? You have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, all right, stop. Because the list I just said is totally inaccurate. Because when you brought up God of War, according to this list, God of War sold 6.1 million. But there's a quick Google of PlayStation 4 sales coming from GameSpot. God of War outsold 10 million. So this list is inaccurate. But
what
my
list are you
point
getting
being,
this from?
this is coming from VG charts.
Okay, so Tricky.
Apparently, this is not updated.
Saying that a game should crack. Okay, look up just Tomb Raider sales.
The original Tomb Raider, the remake
ones.
Tomb Raider. All right.
While you're doing that, Yield, do you think The Last Guardian should have just cracked 5 million easily?
No, because it was an underground success. I know you were big on it. There was a couple of my friends that were kind of interested in it, but
it's a very niche game.
It's a niche game, yeah.
All right, got Tomb Raider, the first one. Again, I'm not feeling confident about these numbers, but this says the original Tomb Raider remake, 1.5 million. Rise of the Tomb Raider is coming up at. Page just crashed. Hold on. Rise of the Tomb Raider is coming up at 2.07 million, and Shadow is coming up at. If this page ever loads, the site's crashing. Give me 1 second, gentlemen.
Which side are you on?
VGcharts.com,
okay, so
which is
you just pointed
supposed
out
to be
that
the
list you read
definitive.
from is completely inaccurate, but yet you're going back to VG Charts for more information.
I'm googling Tomb Raider Tomb Raider sales, and this is the site that's coming up. This is supposed to be the definitive site. Shadow of the Tomb Raider 1.74 million, and this is all according to VG Charts,
okay,
which is supposed
so here's
to be.
The thing: didn't Crystal Dynamics or didn't Square Enix say that the sales of Tomb Raider were disappointing and completely? Okay,
Right, because they expected to sell at least 6 million copies.
The reboot, yeah, they said it was a failure, and
Okay.
I don't understand how they say it was a failure.
Alex, I think you're misunderstanding my argument.
No,
I'm
your
not
argument is that based on how much time they had to develop it, that it should have had 5 million sales easily. What you should know is that selling 5 million copies of a game is not as easy as you think it is.
What I'm saying is the amount of hype that game had. If they had released that game, even as broken as it was when it did launch, if they would have released that game at the peak of their height, they would have hit 5 to 10 million sales easily.
10
But
million?
when the hype died down,
Tricky.
absolutely. I think you're underestimating how much hype there was behind that game.
No,
I
there wasn't.
Never played
There
Eco.
were people
I
who
never
were-
played
people who
Eco.
were
Never
Shadow
played
of the
Shadow of the
Colossus
Colossus.
Were hyped, but
Alex, I wasn't the least bit interested in either one of those games, and I was interested in playing The Last Guardian, and I died off. So they lost a sale just from me.
10
How many
million?
other people
Tricky,
did that happen
Do you understand how the video game industry works and how many games actually sell 10 million? Outside of Nintendo selling 10 million for every exclusive, it doesn't happen all that often. I'm going to quote Zoolander and Mugatu and say that I feel like I'm taking crazy pills just talking to you because this is absurd. For you to say that a game like that, as niche as it is, should sell 5 to 10 million copies easily is absurd because you don't pay attention to what sells 5 to 10 million copies or more, or you just assume that a big AAA game that has a cult following is going to make a mint of money.
Okay, I just Googled best-selling video games of all time, and this is coming from Wikipedia. Now, obviously, anybody can adjust these numbers, but I'm just going to go down the list because I don't have them numbered. These are the games, and I want to say every one of these games has sold at least 16 million copies. All right? Just going to top from bottom, I'm not going to tell you how much sales they made. Minecraft, Tetris, Grand Theft Auto 5, Wii Sports, PUBG, Super Mario Brothers, Pokemon Red, Green, Blue, Yellow, Wii Fit, Mario Kart Wii, Wii Sports Resort, Super Mario Brothers, Wii, Elder Scrolls Skyrim, Diablo 3, Pokemon Gold, Silver, Duck Hunt, Wii Play, San Andreas, Mario Kart Deluxe, Terraria, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, Red Dead Redemption 2, Call of Duty Black Ops, Grand Theft Auto 5, Pokemon Sun, Moon, Ultra, Pokemon Diamond, Call of Duty Black Ops 2, FIFA 18, Kinect Adventures, Sonic the Hedgehog, Nintendo's, Mario Kart DS, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Borderlands 2, Super Mario World, Frogger, Vice City, Lemons, Witcher 3, Wild Hunt, Brain Age, Super Mario Bros. 3, Call of Duty Ghosts, Mario Kart 7, Super Mario Land, Grand Theft Auto 3, The Last of Us, Pokemon X and Y, Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, The Sims, and Need for Speed Most Wanted.
You know how many
Those
Sony
all
games
sold 16 million.
One. The Last of Us. That was the only one. Everything else, half that list was fucking Pokemon.
But what you're saying is that a game selling over 5 million copies is unheard of.
No,
and I
it's
just read
not
you a
unheard
whole
of,
list.
Tricky. My point is that it's very hard to hit that mark. And as you can see, most of the games that do it are either Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto, or Pokemon. Or Nintendo. The only fucking game that Sony made on that list was The Last of Us. Out of all the games that Sony's made, of all the success they've had in the awards, the only game on that list was The Last of Us. For you to say that The Last Guardian should have come out and sold 5 to 10 million is fucking absurd.
Oh my god. You know what? I want to go to a third source.
Okay, Yield. After
Yes.
hearing that list, do you think that The Last Guardian should have sold 5 to 10 million easily?
No. So a lot of those games were multi-platform. The Last Guardian was Sony exclusive.
I'll repeat, the only game on there that was developed by Sony that was exclusive to a PlayStation platform was The Last of Us. The only one.
But you're arguing Sony game. I don't give a shit about a Sony game. My argument is that hitting 5 million copies sold is not an unheard thing.
Tricky,
my argument is The Last of Us definitely should have hit.
Hard. You just listed a ton of games that cover how many generations of consoles. I'm not saying it is impossible. I'm saying it's hard to do. And the fact that Sony's only done it once, or the fact that Sony only has one game on that list, shows how hard some of those benchmarks are to hit.
Well, no, they have more on here. This is just stopping at 16 million. We know games have sold more than 5 million, 10 million copies. They just stopped this list at 16 million.
So, Tricky, the fact that you say that a game should easily be able to sell this much is the reason why companies like EA and Activision and Square Enix call games that ship 3 to 4 million, like Tomb Raider, a failure, is because there's this unreasonable expectation that these games will just sell like hotcakes. The Last Guardian is a very niche game. It was never going to sell that much. Look at how accessible the Ratchet & Clank series is and how popular it is. It couldn't crack 3 million. What are you talking about 5 to 10 million? You're just talking out of your ass.
I'm not. I think you're out of your mind if you think
Yield
that 5 million.
with me.
I think you're both out of your minds if you think 5 million copies of a game sold is just like this unattainable thing, and especially with the hype behind The Last Guardian.
I did not say it's unattainable.
No,
I said it's harder to do than you think.
Okay, maybe unattainable is not the right term, but I'm not underselling how hard it is to sell 5 million copies. My argument is that the amount of hype behind that game should have easily cracked 5 million, but because of the failures in the marketing, the failures in that game being broken at launch, the word of mouth, it killed the game and made it a failure. That's my argument.
Tricky.
Whether or not they sold 5 million copies or 3 million copies or they only sold 1.8 million copies, I don't give a shit how many it sold. I'm saying the hype behind that game and how broken it was when it came out, and the delay after delay after delay killed its sales. And to me, that's why it only sold barely over a million copies. And to me, that's a failure.
The game wasn't broken when it came out. Where are you getting that from?
It was clearly broken. Everybody was arguing it was broken.
I never heard anything about that. Also, I don't know what hype you were hearing, but the hype was coming from the people who were fans of Team Ico's games. It was not coming from there was not a large base of hype like there is for like a Smash Brothers game or a Call of Duty game. I don't know what hype you were hearing. You know, we're going to have to move on because I'm not going to agree with you, Tricky. I mean, Tricky, you can sit here and say that Yield and I are crazy. But it's fine, Tricky. You can think what you want to think. But I don't know what to say to you at this point. I think that your stance is wrong. Just like I think that if you hide your head while you're driving because water splashes your windshield, that you're an idiot. But, like, I'm never going to change your mind because you...
Hold on. I'm trying to make a phone call. You can keep going.
No, I've said what I'm going to say. Like, we're not going to agree. I think that your expectations are outlandish. And I think that's it has been for the longest time a huge issue in the game industry is unrealistic expectations. It happened, like, way back. Like, it's happened for a long time, but, like, you look at a game like Epic Mickey and how that game was deemed as a failure. Like, there are so many, like, people just expect all these games. They have massive budgets and massive marketing budgets, and people just do expect to sell 10 million copies of a game. It's nuts. It's why studios constantly are in danger of being shuttered is because the expectations that put on profit sheets at shareholders' meetings are fucking unreasonable.
All right, maybe 10 million is a little too high, but I think they easily, if they would have released that game at the peak of its hype, they would have sold 5 million without blinking an eye.
No.
Okay, we'll disagree to disagree. Fans, leave us comments because I'm definitely going to put this in a topic on the Facebook group. Let us know what you guys think. All right, so let's move on to our topic of the week, which you said we kind of like discussed this already?
We did cover it last week. This goes into a little bit more detail because it breaks things down to Q1, Q2, and Q3, where the last one we did last week, it just covered through May, and then the rest of it was all just one big list that said 2020.
All right. Well, then let's close out the show.
Closing out the show.
I assume there's no questions from the Facebook group.
I didn't post. I'll go back because I know somebody. I think it was Daryl.
Did Daryl put a question up last week? It was after we recorded or after the segment.
Yeah, I'm trying to look it up right now. While we're there, I just want to give a shout out to one of our fans whose wife is giving out birth to Earthworm Jim.
Yeah, you posted that in the Facebook group.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Daryl said last week. I hate when he just asks questions like this. Do you have a weird rash downstairs? The only thing to cure it is spider bites. Do you let the 8-legged freak cure your issues or nah?
Okay, well, first of all, if he's asked those questions that you don't like and you keep reading them, then he's just going to keep sending them in.
He's going to keep asking them.
Yes, I know, but you brought it. I knew he left that question, but I was trying to go past it, and you go, didn't Daryl leave a question?
Well, this is where you go, no, it's not video game oriented or show oriented, so therefore we're going to bypass it.
All right, for the future, we are going to bypass it. Let's close out the show with some housekeeping.
Let's
clean this shit up. Sorry, I cut you off, Yield.
Clean this shit up, as Alex said.
Yeah, the site's undergoing
transformation.
Thank you.
Transpondency.
I was going to say transactions.
Transactions. Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm just going to keep the housekeeping short this week. Go listen to the podcast, but you have to listen to them on the site. We're still having issues with that. Go check out streaming on Twitch. I stream every Sunday for Extra Life. Today, me and Sweet Mama D rocked out in Rock Band on Extra Life.
Woohoo!
I was going to call Yield to see if he wanted to join in, but I know he's a candy ass, doesn't like streaming, so.
Well, no, I could have played. It's not that I don't stream. I have participated in other people's streams.
Alex, tell us about Amazon.
We know that you love shopping on Amazon because, quite frankly, Amazon makes shopping so damn easy. They just deliver it straight to your house, and, you don't have to go to a store. You don't have to fight the crowds. What could be better? Before you go to Amazon.com, go to ProvenGamer.com. There is a link on the website that will take you directly to Amazon.com. It is one little extra step that you got to take, but it does help us out a ton. Once you click the link, you'll go back to Amazon.com. You can do all of your shopping, and we would greatly appreciate it.
Yield, tell us about Patreon.
So Tricky set up this Patreon thing, and
You sound so enthused.
he knows all the details. So if you would go to patreon.com/Proven Gamer, you can donate some monies to us, and you can become like a Patreon producer, like CJ and Stephanie, and then
Stephanie?
Felicia. Sorry,
Felicia?
Felicia. And then you can also get a special Tricky podcast called Tricky Thoughts. There.
Where Tricky angers you by talking about religion and politics. So if you want your blood pressure to go up a few points, listen to that.
Or talking about how The Last Guardian should have sold 5 million copies.
No, it was 10 million, Yield.
10 million.
Okay, come to think of it, actually the game should have sold 20 million.
Did you see the feedback that I got about the Tricky Thoughts podcast?
No. Was everyone like, you're insane?
Levi left a comment, I guess, shortly after listening to it. Says, Tricky Thoughts Podcast, Politics and Religion. Probably the worst idea I've heard in a long time. I'm in. And then Steven replied saying, just change the name to, quote, I'm not racist, but podcast, end quote. Or the, quote, how can I say this without sounding like an asshole, podcast, end quote. Anytime Tricky starts a sentence with that, you know you're in for a ride.
I'm not racist, but...
All I'm saying is give the podcast a chance. I think we'll surprise you about. I think you're over expecting what's going to happen. I think you guys will really enjoy the conversation, and the whole point is just to have a conversation without yelling and screaming across the aisle.
Tricky, I just got mad as hell at you because you suggested The Last Guardian should sell some ridiculous, insane amount of copies that it shouldn't sell.
So come on, Tricky Thoughts, and we'll discuss it.
The politics thing is not going to cause the same thing. Or worse.
Well, okay, we're not necessarily going to talk politics. We're not necessarily going to talk religion. We're going to talk about a certain topic, and we're just going to have a conversation about it.
But
and
that is, if you're going to talk about something that lands in the realm of religion or politics, it's political and religious. Tricky, can I honestly ask you a question? Has anyone given you any positive feedback about this show? Because I'm going to tell you, Levi said that because he knows this is going to be a train wreck, and he's like, it's like the train wreck that you don't want to take your eyes away from, or that you constantly watch subconsciously because you can't actually look away. Like, you want to call The Last Guardian a train wreck, this podcast is going to be a train wreck.
Okay, all I'm saying is give it a shot, and yes, I've gotten positive feedback from it. All I'm saying is give it a shot. That's all I'm saying.
Positive
if you don't like it, you don't like it.
Yourself while looking in the mirror on Monday mornings doesn't.
Let's close out the show with some shout-outs. Yield, go first.
I would like to give a shout out to Tricky and Alex for recording tonight. I'd also like to give a shout out for being well entertained during the 5 million, 10 million copy sold debate. That was nice. I'd like to give a shout out to you, the fans of the Whoredom. Thank you for downloading, listening. And, you know what? A shout out to Shutdown. Because I really enjoyed my 2 weeks off of work, and then I had to go back this week. And man, I'm really looking forward to Shutdown in July.
Alex.
Give a shout out to the listeners, the fuel to the fire of this show of yours. Thank you all very much for your continued support, despite Tricky's asinine comments. We greatly appreciate you all, because we wouldn't be here without you all, so thank you very much for being a listener and a fan of the show. Give a shout out to blood pressure medication, because after podcasting with Tricky, I will surely fucking need it. A shout out to Tricky and to Yield for recording this week. And the shout out to my lovely girlfriend, Ashley. I love you, hun. And that's going to be it for this week.
I'm going to keep it simple. Shout out to the goddess who got her trophies read off first time in 416 episodes.
Yeah, good work doing your husbandly duties there.
Screw that. Shout out to Sweet Mama D, who is sick and is sleeping, so she doesn't get a chance to come out here and annoy Yield and Alex like she does.
She never annoys us.
She doesn't annoy us.
Annoys you.
And shout out to the listeners. Thank you very much. I will see you guys next week. Hopefully, all the problems with the show and the site have been fixed. But it's just problem after problem after problem. Giving me a headache. But until next week, happy trophy hunting.
Later.
Bye.
Last words that reads on me this. Save your last words. Save your last words that reads on me this. Save your last words that reads on me this. Save your last words that reads on me this. Save your last words that reads on me this.
The theme song is Venus by the band Even off their album Zenith. Permission granted by the band and 12 Stone Records. You can find them on Facebook by going to www.facebook.com/evenphilippines.